In the first book of Samuel, chapter 3, we witness the call of Samuel, a young boy serving in the temple under Eli the priest. God calls Samuel multiple times, and after Eli realizes it is God calling him, he instructs Samuel on how to respond. This event marks the beginning of Samuel's prophetic ministry. Listening to God's voice. Samuel initially mistakes God's voice for that of Eli, his mentor. It is only after Eli's guidance that Samuel recognizes and responds to God's call. This emphasizes the importance of learning to discern God's voice amidst the noise of the world. In our daily lives, we are bombarded with various voices and distractions. Like Samuel, we need to learn to distinguish God's voice from the other voices around us. This requires intentional silence, prayerful reflection, and seeking wise counsel from mentors or spiritual guides. By tuning our hearts to God's voice, we can receive guidance, comfort, and direction for our lives. Obedience to God's call. When Samuel finally recognizes God's voice, he responds with obedience, saying, "Speak, for your servant is listening." Samuel's obedience to God's call demonstrates his willingness to submit to God's authority and follow his instructions. Just as Samuel obeyed God's call, we are called to obey God's commands and follow his will for our lives. This requires humility, trust, and a willingness to surrender our plans and desires to God's purposes. We can demonstrate obedience by aligning our actions with the teachings of Scripture, seeking to serve others, and walking in integrity and righteousness. The faithfulness of God. Throughout this passage, we see God's faithfulness in persistently calling Samuel until he responds. Despite Samuel's initial confusion and Eli's misunderstanding, God patiently continues to reach out to Samuel until he finally hears and responds. This passage reminds us of God's unwavering faithfulness and persistence in pursuing a relationship with us. Even when we may struggle to hear or understand His voice, God continues to call us with love and patience. We can find comfort and assurance in knowing that God never gives up on us, and we can trust in His faithfulness to guide us through life's challenges and uncertainties.